Hi, my name is Vivian and welcome. Today we're going to talk about how to plot a series, and this video will be part 1 of 3. A series or a serial? Which one are you writing? A series is an assembly of books that are in the same franchise, but they can be read in any order. Usually the series will either follow one character or the series will follow the same few characters. But the books will have them in different situations. With a series, you do not need an overarching story because the books are a bunch of standalones that are tied together by one theme, either a character or characters or a specific situation. Typically, in a series, if you're going to make a character be the constant in the whole series, usually that character is a flat character. They've already gone through their positive arc and they now know who they are. Perhaps what you can do is make the first book be your character going through a positive arc, and then the rest of the series, the character will have a flat arc. Some examples I can give are like Sherlock Holmes or James Bond. Sherlock Holmes is a very intelligent detective, and James Bond is a spy, I believe, that fights bad guys or whatnot. But the point is that throughout the series, they remain the same. They don't quite change. Not saying that they don't have their flaws. They do have flaws, but they don't have to go through any internal change because that work was already done before the story started. Remember, a flat character is a character that knows the truth and is using the truth to save the world. And another thing about a series you don't have to think about an overarching story. I think I mentioned that before. But if you've noticed with books like Sherlock Holmes, James Bond, or even Jack Reacher, you see that they have so many books in that series. And it's because it's just focused on that one person, and that one person is in different situations. So you can write 100 books about Sherlock Holmes and it can go on forever because he will always be in a different situation. The only constant is that he solves hard mysteries. What is a serial? A serial is a type of narration that follows a series of events in a specific order. You need to read the books in a particular order in order to understand what is going on with the overall plot. Usually, you'll be writing the same characters throughout the whole series and the same specific conflict situation that they are trying to resolve. Examples of a serial is like Game of Thrones, Harry Potter, Throne of Glass, etc. Next is story arc. What is a story arc? A story arc is a story that takes place while other stories happen within its confines. There's a quote from Beth Daniels. Beth Daniels gives an example of a rainbow. The story arc is the rainbow, and the bunny hops are the standalone books. Each bunny hop has a starting point, a rise of action, and an ending. They're all underneath the story arc, which ties each standalone book together. And you can also add the 3-act structure underneath each of the bunny hops because, again, the bunny hops represents the standalone books, and even with each standalone book within the serial, you still need to have a plot structure like the 3-act structure or whatever other plot structures that you choose. This is basically the diagram for writing a serial. I hope it makes sense. The story arc rainbow can have 3 books like a trilogy or 100 books. You just have to think about how many books will it take to complete the story arc. What is the story arc of your serial? A story arc can be one sentence. For example, Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones has a political story arc. Who is going to rule Westeros? The That question was what drove the character's actions and what drove the plot. It was indirect, but that story arc is what glued the serial together. That brings me to my next point. Story arcs are the glue that binds all the separate stories into a whole picture. There are two types of story arcs. The first way is you can have the story arc deal with something in the main character's life that they need to fix. And they spend the whole entire series trying to resolve this. In this story arc, things must progress as they would if this was the story in one single book. You will divide the story arc in parts just like you would if it was a standalone story. For example, if you are using the 3-act structure to plot your stories, in a single book, you have an act 1, an act 2, and an act 3, and then that completes the story for a standalone book. But in a serial, you will take that and expand it. Say, in order for the character to resolve the issue in their life, that will take about, let's say, 3 books. Act 1 will be book 1. Act 2 will be book 2. And Act 3 will be book 3. But you also still need to divide the individual books as well into 3 acts. So yes, each book is an act, but they're also still a standalone as well. So book 1, which is act 1, will also have an act 1, act 2, act 3. Book 2, which is also act 2, will also have an act 1, act 2, act 3. And then book 3, which is act 3, will also have an act 1, act 2, act 3. But remember, the story arc does not get completed till the ending of book 3. Even within the individual books that are within the story arc is what ties each book together. I hope this is clear. If it's not, please comment below. I hope this is clear. Okay. In each book, your character will attempt to resolve this issue, but there will be obstacles in their way that will prevent them from resolving this problem until the last book. And the second type of story arc is to have a goal that a group of people are pursuing. A great example of this is Lord of the Rings. The story arc is to destroy the One Ring and to bring peace to Middle Earth. And in each book in the serial, the characters are attempting to destroy the ring, but that goal doesn't happen until the last book in the serial. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to see more videos about writing, tips, and books. Also, you can go ahead and download free how to plot your novel worksheets below. Go ahead and watch the next video here. I'll talk to you next time. Bye!